You lift with your knees, not your hips, Catherine. I'm not dragging another curse-fainting couch down these steps again.
Oh, don't sass me, Eloise. No, my bones are held together with prayer and centrum silver. Just help me hang this live, laugh, love sign over the fireplace.
See, even the walls hate your taste.
No, that's not the walls. That's my blood sugar dropping. Just give me a minute.
That's Merlot, not metformin, Cat. What in Lucille Ball's red wig is that?
The wallpaper's leaking lime jello?
No, that's not Jello. That's Lucifer's phlegm. It's happening again.
Oh, I told you not to paint over the murder closet. I mean, that thing was full of evil, and probably a haunted dildo.
Catherine? Are you okay? You look a little, pale.
You should have let me keep the wallpaper, Eloise. Now I gotta peel your face off instead.
Catherine and Carrie Lopez, you are not murdering me in cross in a neck brace.
Did I just try to stab you with a corn skewer?
Yes, and it was the one shaped like a little cob. I just bought those from QVC, you harlot. Oh, good. The priest's here. Maybe he brought Holy Febreze.
You fools! You've awakened the DeFeo spirits. There is evil here. Oh, I've been slapped by Satan again. That's the third time this week. Oh, hush, Donnelly. I've been slapped harder by shoulder pads in '94.
Catherine, grab the rosaries and the cinnamon rolls. We're leaving.
I knew I should have invested in haunted timeshares instead. This house is 100% not worth the Zillow's estimate.
Well, in my opinion, once we get in the car, do you think we should be listening to the Itty Bitty Horror podcast where they talk about the movie? We should have watched the movie first.
Oh, maybe you're right. We should have.
Tim, do you
Luis.
think Kat and Eloise made it out alive?
I think they did make it out of the house. Yeah, I think
Yeah?
they made it out okay. I mean, in the original movie, Amityville Horror, they made it out okay. I feel like that demon creature thing wants them out, right? So yeah.
So they just left. Yeah, they didn't get hurt. That's good.
And they left in fewer days, I would say, than in the movie. So that's
Yeah.
good too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, welcome to the Itty Bitty Horror podcast with Luis and Tim. In this podcast, we discuss everything from horror movies to the scariest tales out there
Yes.
with very non-existent, very little, touch of humor. Very little.
Yeah, a pinch.
Yeah. Tim, how have you been?
Well, I've been good. I've been okay. I will say watching this movie again after a long time of not watching it,
Yeah.
I got to kind of experience it anew. And I have to say, I kind of walked away with more or less the same opinion as before. So,
Well, we'll find out what that opinion is. But before we get into this, Tim, I'm sorry. I'm going to derail us for a second.
what?
For our listeners, you already know this because I told you, but
Oh.
I got our first hate comment on Instagram.
Oh, I know. I saw that. I was like, that either means we're really popular and cool that we're getting haters now, or it just means that someone was mean and we're not. We're still not.
Yeah, he was just like stumbling by the Instagram and he was listening to an old reel that I created like back in September of last year. So like almost a year ago. And it was when I was recording straight through Instagram, like through their recording thing. So I didn't put it through a
Right.
filter. I didn't use a microphone. So that's not the best, but this guy's
You're
like,
figuring it out. It's
yeah,
okay.
And this man was like, I can't stand your voice, bitch.
Okay, he didn't say bitch, but I do think he did say that I can't stand your voice. And then I quickly, when you sent me the comment, asked you whose voice he was referring to,
Yeah, he
so
was
that I knew
referring
whether
to
to.
me.
Okay, yeah. I wanted to know if I should cry myself to sleep
I
or
know.
not.
No, well, I did.
Oh,
But,
good. Okay.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's all right.
Well, Tim, going back to after I derailed it. So you saw the movie. You have your own opinions. We'll talk about at the end of the movie. But for our listeners, last week we covered the Amityville Horror House, which is the true story of what happened with the DeFeo family and the Lutz family. And Tim and I had a little back and forth whether we thought it was real or not. But in today's episode, we're actually going to be we're going to be diving into the 1979 horror classic, The Amityville Horror, a film inspired by the chilling real life ordeal of the Lutz family. So it's only going to be about the Lutz family, not the DeFeos. And did you
Yeah.
know that one of the writers was George Lutz? How
Of the
convenient.
movie? I did not know that. That is
Yeah.
convenient. Well, I wonder if he got a little money from that, Louise.
Well, after just 28 days in their new home, they fled in terror,
Oh.
claiming to experience everything from green slime oozing from the walls to furniture moving on its own, Tim. So I know you just mentioned, obviously, you just rewatched the film, but what is your history with the movie itself? Like, when did you first see it? How did you first like it when you first saw the movie?
Okay, well, when I first got into horror movies, I would say I was probably around high school when I started watching a lot of those like classic 70s horror movies like
Mhm.
Exorcist and etc. And I knew Amityville Horror was one of those movies that like
Yeah.
everyone was really into at the time. And I remember actually my mom telling me how scared she was of it, so I thought, okay, this is probably pretty good.
Mhm.
And then yeah, I watched it, and I don't think I watched it all the way through the first time.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking that it was really creepy in the very beginning. Like I remember thinking, oh my gosh, this with that haunting little soundtrack they have with those
Yeah.
like little voices, and then it's like you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
No,
So
totally. I think I don't remember when I first saw it, but I mean I've seen this film before. But it may have been as recent as like maybe 15 years ago for the first time
oh wow.
that I saw it. Yeah. But do you like horror movies that are based on haunted houses or demonic houses or anything like that? Or is that something that you're like, ugh, I'm not a fan of ghost movies?
You know, I have to say, haunted house movies are not my favorite scary movies right off the bat, and I feel like they're not yours either, right?
No, I
Or
can
are they?
enjoy. No, they're not, but I can enjoy older horror movies like
Yeah,
those, like from the 70s and 60s, their stories, because I feel like they came with it without like trying to, like, it wasn't too manufactured the way it is. Like, if they release a horror movie right now, it's like a
right.
haunted house, it feels too glamorous. They use some of the same tropes and whatnot. But like when you're watching it, like a movie from the 70s, like I put myself in the mindset of somebody from the 70s watching this, and I can
Right.
see how that would be kind of creepy and kind of cool, but they're not my top three horror subgenres.
Yeah, I know. And I was gonna say too, I do actually do that as well when I'm watching an older movie. I feel like I am weirdly able to kind of, and maybe a lot of people are like this, I'm assuming,
Mhm.
where you can kind of put yourself in the mindset of someone living in the time that the movie
Yeah.
came out, and then you can look at the effects, even if they're a
Mhm.
little cheesy, and you can kind of think, oh yeah, I bet this was scary. Like I watched The Birds recently, the Alfred
Mhm.
Hitchcock movie,
Yeah.
and I remember thinking, oof, these effects are kind of crap, but like
Mhm.
they're I could see why maybe in that time people thought this
Mhm.
was scary. So I almost could get a sense of the horror still. So, you know. And
Yeah.
this movie is, in all fairness, still fairly scary, I would say.
Yeah, and it's funny because a lot of folks that watch horror movies or movies like this one, the Amityville Horror, I think the first thing they're thinking of is like, well, this could never happen now. They're being very cynical because like I would just whip out my cell phone and I would do like a live TikTok or whatever
Oh yeah.
and try to capture it.
Everyone thinks demons and ghosts can't account for cell phones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, and again, they come in watching movies like this with a very cynical mentality, and they don't like, oh, I don't want to put myself in the mindset because like whatever, for whatever reason, they just can't understand what it was back then. I mean,
Yeah.
neither do we, but like, I think we can just take it as like, no, I'm taking it as like, there's no social media, there's no cell phones, maybe there's less cynicism or whatnot, and I'm just going in there to watch a story. And in that sense, for me, I know that I enjoyed the movie when I saw it
Yeah.
the first time. Yeah, but
That's fair.
The Amityville Horror is a supernatural horror film directed by Stuart Rosenberg. It stars James Brolin, Margot Kidder, and Rod Steiger, and it's based on the J. Anson 1977 best-selling book. The film was produced by American International Pictures and filmed in Toms River, New Jersey, Tim. It says here that It was also filmed on sound stages in LA, MGM, after being denied access to the actual Amityville house.
Oh, that's kind of lame.
But come on, do you think somebody who owns that house is like, hell yeah, record a horror? Like, no, they're just gonna keep getting too many tourists and
I
weirdos outside of
guess.
the house. But it premiered at the Museum of Modern Art on July 24th, 1979. That means JLo was 10 years old.
Oh, I see. Okay, good. That's how we can mark
That's
down
how,
the
yeah,
time.
that's how we do markers on this podcast.
Nice. Yeah, and Madonna had moved to New York at that point, but was not yet hitting it big.
Oh, okay, okay. See, there you go to our listeners. The movie grossed over $80 million, making it one of the most successful independent horror films ever released. The film received an Oscar and Golden Globe nomination for its score and helped launch a decades-long franchise.
Hmm.
Despite mixed reviews, it does remain a defining entry in haunted house cinema, Tim.
All right, it does, but I just want to clarify for the audience in case you missed what Luis said. It received nominations for the score,
Oh,
meaning the
that's what I said.
soundtrack. No, you did, but I'm just clarifying in case people are watching this thinking, "Oh, it got Oscar nomination."
Oh
No,
yeah, the thing is like The Exorcist or
the
something.
score got a nomination.
Yeah. So just to give some context for our listeners, a little bit of the development behind the film. As mentioned, the film was based on the book from 1977 from Jay Anson. It documented the Lutz family's alleged supernatural experiences in the same Long Island home where Ronald DeFeo Jr., aka Butch, murdered six family members in 1974. We talked about this in the previous episode, so feel free to check that out if you want more of the real story that Tim doesn't believe. Um, Initially, this was planned as a CBS made-for-TV movie. The script was reworked into a theatrical feature by screenwriter Sander Stern, after producers Samuel Z. Arkoff acquired the rights.
Oh,
And he pitched this as a feature film to CBS, offering them broadcast rights in return.
wow,
So what do you think
broadcast
about
rights.
what do you think about this potentially having would have been a made-for-TV movie? Do you think it would have had the same impact?
Well, no, I mean, clearly some producer, whoever it was, made the right move because if it
Hmm.
made like $80 million in 1979 is like a crap ton of money, especially
Hmm.
for a horror movie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I feel like as a TV movie, I mean, I think people would have like, I mean, listen, it's no secret. We're going to get to this at some point, listeners.
Yeah.
So you might as well know, as Luis kind of mentioned earlier, it got mixed reviews. It wasn't the best reviewed horror movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like if it was a TV movie, it might have been even less like it would have just been like a little blip on the radar. You know what I mean?
Maybe because didn't they? And I could be 100% wrong, but didn't they make Salem's Lot?
Well, you probably are.
Didn't they make Salem's Lot into a TV show
Oh,
first?
yeah, I think you're right. They did. And I don't know how that did. Also, I guess TV movies back then or like miniseries did actually do like pretty well. Like I know Roots was a huge series in like the 1970s.
It was also like when there wasn't cable or anything. So it's like everything was just on the main networks.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
would get like, 30, 40 million views for an episode of The Golden Girls or
Yeah.
something.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, as for casting, James Brolin signed on after reading the book. He scared himself when a pair of pants fell off a chair mid-read. He called it a challenge, playing character slowly unraveling into madness.
Wow. If only The Shining had come out before that because.
Well, he was reading this book. He wasn't reading the script. He was just reading the book, saying like, "Okay, maybe I'll do this." His pants fall from the chair, and he's like, "Yep, I'm doing this."
That's
I guess
so
he was like super
stupid.
into the book.
His pants fell off the chair. He was like, "Whoa, I am making this movie." That was spooky.
Yeah, I think it had more to do with the fact that he was like very entranced with the book,
Yeah.
and as soon as like anything that happened outside of it startled him, which just proved that yes, I'm really into this
Well,
story.
you know what? As I laugh at that, I will say I would do the exact same thing. I would be, if I'm reading something scary, if anything remotely weird happens at that exact moment when I'm reading it, I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, you know?
And at that moment, you would be like, "Yes, I'm doing this movie, even though I'm not an actor."
Yeah. And I'd be like,
Fictitious.
and later I'm going to marry Barbara Streisand.
The wife, or Catherine Lutz, was played by Margot Kidder, fresh off Superman, just joined the project, bringing a lighter tone to set, but reportedly, clashing with Brolin over acting styles. She improvised, he stuck to the script. Okay, so this is why I'm not an actor, aside from the fact
Hmm.
that I can't act.
No, no, no. That's the only reason.
That's the only
This thing you're
reason.
about to say.
Well, the thing is, like, if I were an actor, I feel like I would definitely be like, okay, I'm gonna go in here and just like improvise or just learn my lines and just, clock in and clock out. Whereas somebody else would be like, oh, no, I'm method acting, so you can't interact with me, and we're both at the craft
Oh
table.
God.
Let's say I'm playing the wife, of the Lutz family,
Okay.
and we're like, it's cut, and it's like, okay, take a 20 or whatever, and we me and my husband in the movie go to the craft table, and
Yeah.
then I'm like, oh, did you see the type of cheese they loaded for us? It's not the best, right?
Gruyere.
And then he would just turn to me and he'd be sweaty and red-eyed and he'd just like slap me and be like, shut up. I'm like, oh, cheese.
He's like, I like this cheese.
I like this cheese, bitch. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm still in character. Leave me alone.
You're like, but then why would your character say I'm still in character? That's not something he would say.
Exactly. Oh, there you go. You broke the damn fourth wall.
Yeah, but wait, Luis, I wanted to cut in because I have to say in this movie, and I know we'll get to it, but I think, I mean, granted, if I was a writer of a movie or a director or even like your fellow actor, yes, I would probably hate it if you were improvising, right? That said, I do feel like Margot Kidder is really the only actor that I enjoy watching in this movie.
Yeah.
So
no, she really is, honestly.
Oh, no, that's not true. The Nun as well. Her
yeah, the
nun
Nun. We'll
cousin
cover
as
the
well.
Nun, but the Nun is a little funny. Let's see. As for filming, the real Amityville house, like I mentioned, was off limits. So they settled in Tom Rivers, New Jersey, where a similar Dutch colonial was modified to match the infamous 112 Ocean Avenue home. Local authorities and residents got involved. Police played extras, and the fire department helped with rain scenes. Apparently, the internal shots were shot at the, MGM studios. And apparently, one memorable scene involving swarming flies required actor Rod Steiger to be doused in sugar water and beer to attract real insects. Filming wrapped just before Christmas in 1978. Okay, I'm sorry. You're going to have real insects. It's like back in the days when they had less rules. Like when the Wizard of Oz and they would paint people a certain color and whatever.
I know, with like lead paint, and they just like wouldn't be, they would like die of it years later. Sorry,
yeah,
and there's like a laugh. It's bad, but
yeah, there's another movie. I don't remember which one. I don't know if it's like The Omen or no, it's some other movie. I don't remember, but they had a scene with a helicopter with children, and the actual helicopter crashed and killed the children in a movie.
Oh my God.
And they had to like settle or something. I don't remember, but it's just like, they're making this day. It's like, okay, we're going to douse you in sugar water.
I know, they did not care back then. I'm sure they just like, was no one worried about being sued? I don't know. Was it harder to sue people back in the 70s?
I don't know. I feel like people were back then were probably in the mentality of like, oh, just man up.
Right. Just deal with this sugar water and beer we're spraying on you with a hose.
Exactly. They were just like, oh, fine. If not, see me as a wuss. And I won't be cast. I won't be casted in the sequel to the Bunny Man or something. I don't know.
Soon after they moved in, it began. The living room, an unnatural cold. The basement, the hidden red room.
What do you want from us?
Amityville Horror, rated R.
Okay, so now, Tim, we're going to be recapping the 1979 movie. Are you ready? Are you ready to tell the audience your thoughts on what happened?
I am so ready.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we start the film with a chilling lullaby of children singing as the credits are rolling by.
Is that really a lullaby, or is it just them going?
That's a lullaby to me. I fall asleep to that every night.
Did someone sing that to you when you were a kid?
Yeah, my mom was like, la, la. I'm like, wait, is there a chorus? Or is it, nope, that's it. I'm like, okay,
it's just me once doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the scene opens with the infamous quarter round windows in the middle of a stormy night when suddenly we hear gunshots. Ow, 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 bitch.
Oh. It's not the Matrix or something.
No, but we hear gunshots. Obviously, this is implication. If you knew the story, you would be like, okay, this is the DeFeo family, like Butch is,
killing his family.
Yeah, Well, we're inside the house and we see a shadowy figure walk into a room and shoot someone in their bed. And as I mentioned, if you listen to last week's episode, you'll realize that this is Butch DeFeo, and he had zero motive for killing his entire family. I mean, he came up with so many different excuses to why he did it, but they never really found out what his true motive was, except that he was maybe a little crazy.
Yeah, maybe a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, after he's done all of the killing, the medical examiner transporters or removal technicians, I don't know what the job is.
Yeah, some people, who knows?
They start moving the DeFeo family out of the house, the bodies, the carcasses. And we
Oh my
transition.
God, Louise, the
Well, I mean,
carcass.
it's a carcass, and we transition to
Yeah,
a
well,
beautiful.
I know I was saying technically they are, but can I add something too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say while they're removing the bodies in the scene, there's like a text that appears on the screen. It's like November 13th, 1974, a mother and
Hmm.
father murdered. And they say that. And I'm thinking as I'm watching that, could they not have like explained that in a scene? Like could there not have been like a radio broadcast, playing where someone says, this just in, like November 13th. Instead they just like show you text on a screen like you're like
Hmm.
5 years old. Like, what? Oh, that's what just happened. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Yeah, they
why
also
did
did
they do
that.
that?
Yeah, they also did that in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I believe. I don't know if they showed text on the screen, but it's just like the
But
narrator.
no, but the different thing I think in Texas Chainsaw was that it was more like the following story is true. So it gives you kind
Yeah.
of a scary, ominous thing. This was like, here's the scary thing that we're, dramatizing. And now we're just going to explain everything that happened with text. And it's
Yeah,
kind
why
of like,
couldn't there just be like a little radio announcement, CBS News, whatever, and just
yeah,
be like,
something.
this just in, that bitch Butch killed bitches or something.
Yeah, that's that. I'm sure that would air.
You're right. You do have a point. I do think that would be a little bit more of an easy transition because then you can just like transition to the next scene, which we'll go into,
Yeah,
versus just like here's the text of what happened, just in case you don't know. But
right.
yes, from there we transition to a beautiful scene where George and Kathy Lutz are looking at the infamous house as they're about to move in. The real estate agent is right there. She wants to tell them something, but eventually, I think she does, right? Like she tells, like before, she's like selling the house, like, oh, and it has a pool and a lake, and it has 3 stories and a basement or whatever the hell she's saying. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
she's
yeah.
like, FYI, I guess I gotta do my due diligence here.
Right. Yeah, I know. And also I feel like the realtor has a really expressive face, which I love an overacting face in an old movie. So,
Yeah, she kind of reminds me of the lady from Black Christmas,
oh yeah, the den mother.
the den mother. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, she explains that the house has like a dark history, and then George Lutz, I think, says something like houses don't have memories or something like that to comfort his wife.
I
But
know, exactly. I was gonna say too, there's a one point where the realtor asks them about something about their family, and then James Brolin says, "Oh, we already have a family." And the lady goes, "Oh," and she has like this like look in her face, like, "Oh, like what?" And I'm just like, "Why is that
did you not look at the
confusing?"
application, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah, like I'm. Did I miss something? Like, is she maybe? Oh, you know what I'm realizing as I'm
Mm,
literally telling you this stream of
mm,
consciousness? Maybe it's because they said they were just married, but then that they
mhm.
already have a family. Well, I mean, in the
Oh,
actual story, it's
mhm.
because they're her kids that he like I adopted, I guess, right?
Yeah, no, I think that's the same. That's the actual true story in the
In
actual,
real life.
yeah, the real story. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that
Hmm.
makes sense. It wasn't clear to me though. I was like, why is that? Is she confused that they have a
Yeah, I mean
family?
that makes sense if you're just getting like, hey, yeah, we're a new family, but we have 5 kids or 3 kids or whatever. It's like, wait, what? How does that? Oh, okay.
Well, she's nosy.
So they decide to purchase the house and move in, of course. Knowing this, would you sage the house? Or do you even believe in any of this, Tim?
No, I mean, you know what's funny is as
Mm.
much as I am kind of the Scully of the two of us, and I
Hmm.
know I'm a little bit skeptical, but I would absolutely, if someone said, "Hey, let's just burn some sage in here, because why not?" I'd be like,
Uh-huh.
"Yes, like do
Let's
it."
just do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the real estate agent is back in the basement or whatever, and she's doing some paperwork when she hears something. The papers start to shuffle by themselves. Honestly, if I were her, I was, stuck with this house to sell. I would do anything to get it off my list. Because, like when you're a real estate agent, I mean, I'm assuming here, so forgive me to our listeners if you are realtors. Don't you get like assigned a list of homes that you have to sell or whatever? And some of them they'll give you like a dud that nobody wants to buy for whatever reason because it's like a fixer-upper, it's haunted, it's on ancient Indian burial grounds or something, and nobody wants to buy it. So like if now you're finding like, okay, they want to buy it, like I'm gonna do everything and just ignore everything. It's like, yep, here's the house, here's the paperwork, it's yours now.
Yeah, I know. But think about it. This
Mm.
realtor, I mean, props to her. Like she
Yeah.
sold the Amityville Horror House. Like
Probably got a
she
decent commission.
I know. Like I'm thinking like, wow, she's the realtor you want in your business. I mean, forget the selling sunset ladies,
Yeah, we need this lady. From there, we cut to the family, and they're just like setting up the new home, putting up wallpaper, hanging crosses, blah blah blah.
And Margot Kidder has pigtails, and I wrote down in my notes that they look weird.
Why? Why do they look weird, Tim? Give us
I-
3 bullet point reasons as to why pigtails don't work with Margot Kidder's face.
It's just maybe it's because she has a really thin, like pointy face. I don't know, but it's giving like Britney Spears, "Baby One More Time." I don't know. It's
Yeah.
weird. It's just weird.
There's a knock at the door, Tim. and it's a priest.
Oh no.
Kick him out.
Or good if he's helping.
Or good if he's helping, but the priest walks in because nobody hears him, I think, and he's trying to find.
He just wanders in.
Yeah, he just wanders in. And he's trying to find the Lutzes, which I think I misspelled here. I think it's just an apostrophe S, but whatever. He's trying to find the Lutzes, and he decides to walk up the stairs, and he goes into a room again. Sir, who's giving you permission to explore the house?
I know. I'm like, I know that, I mean, we've learned later, and you don't realize this at the beginning of the movie, but we learned later that she's like friends with him from a while back.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Margot Kidder's character, but still, he's just wandering into their house. I don't care if you're my friend. You don't just wander into my new house that I just moved into without like knocking or telling me. Like,
yeah, because you and I have made jokes about that one day we're going to reenact the Friends situation.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, if we live like close to each other, I would just randomly just go to your apartment with my own key because I have a copy. And I would just be like,
swing the door open.
Looking through your fridge. Yeah, swing the door open, looking through your fridge.
Like, you're out of milk.
Yeah, you're coming out of the shower. It's like, hey, where's breakfast? You don't have any milk or orange juice. And then you're just gonna have your little robe and your little head towel, and you're just gonna roll your eyes, and you're like, oh, Louie.
Oh, Louie.
I put my hand on my hip and just roll my eyes, like, girl, you got to be ready when the Louister comes over.
And that's gonna be your catchphrase in the show.
Exactly. But anyway, so the priest walks in, and then he goes into a room, and the door slams behind him.
Kind of what he gets for breaking and entering. Sorry.
Honestly, yeah. And then what happens next?
Well, he's basically swarmed by a bunch of flies. It's kind of weird, though, because at first he's just sitting in the room, and then he just kind of is peering through the window out at them, but not really trying to get their attention. I guess just like smiling, like, oh, what a happy little family. And then like just sort of starts to look unsettled, and then a bunch of flies land on his face.
And isn't he, I mean, now knowing what we know now, but if he was sweating in the movie, that was really just the sugar water and the beer.
It was all sugar water. You're right. I didn't think of that. Yeah, I know. And then the camera, by the way, has a lot of close-up shots of flies, which is kind of gross.
Oh yeah, those big bug-eyed bastards. Yeah, we got him good. Well, the priest starts to have more flies land on him, on his face. And then when it seems like he's about to pass out, the door suddenly opens, and we hear
he's passing out from just too many flies.
Yeah, I mean, because like if you're the priest and the door is slammed right behind you, so you're locked inside, and you're like his age, and it's like back in the 70s when they would show priests smoking and drinking and what, you know what I mean? It wasn't like today's priests that, whatever, just I'm not even gonna go there.
Anyway.
But yes, they smoke and drink, so he may have had a heart condition. He looks like he's about to pass out from all the flies on his face, is what I mean to say.
I know, that's just so funny to me, the idea that he's just like so unfocused and so like stressed at all of a sudden because there's all these flies. I just feel like I would be swatting at them or something, but he's just like, oh no.
I guess it's the end of me.
He's just like keeling over practically.
Well, it looks like he's about to pass out, but then suddenly the door opens, and he just hears like, "Get out!"
I know.
Or "Get out!" How does it sound?
Ouch.
Yeah, something like that. I'm like, "Bitch, run!"
Yeah,
which he does, but you don't have to tell me twice.
Yeah, no.
That's where I use my cliche, like, feet don't fail me now. Like, jump through the window or something. I don't know.
Imagine the families playing outside.
Out in the yard.
And the priest just bursts through their upstairs window.
And if I were her, Kathy Lutz, I'd be like, bitch, well, A, my friend who's a priest is dead now, but also I gotta fucking replace this window.
Yeah. So 2 things wrong with my day.
And he landed on my smallest child. What the hell?
Oh my God.
Well, he's in his car, wheezing, barely breathing. And then we cut to Kathy Lutz, who's at home, and she receives a call. And it's that same priest, Tim.
I know. He wants to follow up.
He's like, by the way, like he swallowed some flies.
Lovely drapes.
I love the drapes in your house, and the floor, marvelous, good wood,
immaculate.
And he's about to tell her that about the house, that it's like weird and haunted, and he heard a voice, but he dropped the phone, and we see this like pus-like warts on his hand. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's like boils.
Yeah, probably from flicking the bean or something. But
unless he has syphilis or something, I feel like no.
Well, in the meantime, the husband George, he decides to explore the basement to see where a potential draft is coming from, right? And one of the kids starts to like walk down, I guess, behind him and trips and breaks the low hanging light. And I'm like, how did you even do that? Like,
I know.
it's
A
the
lot
low
of people
hanging.
fumble and trip in this movie.
Yeah, no, and it's just like, get the fuck back up there. Like,
I know. Climb upstairs.
yeah. Well, anyway, Kathy's looking at herself in the mirror when she's startled by her husband showing up, and then we just see her. I think she removes her robes. No,
Yeah, I think she does. Yeah.
she's like completely naked, beautiful, beautiful breasts, or something.
Oh my
I don't know.
God. Or something. This is your statement. What do you mean, or something?
Yeah, but it's also like she's looking at herself. And I think she's caressing her breasts. I could be wrong, but the doors are wide open.
I know. She shouldn't do that. That you traumatize your whole family. I feel like,
Don't
no.
you miss that, Tim? When
No.
you were younger and you were like in your room combing your hair, looking lovingly at yourself,
Combing my hair.
and then a man walks in and finds you naked. Don't you miss those days?
That is a horrible thing to say.
I don't mean
And
as a
no.
child. I mean like those
Oh.
days of like the 80s. I know this took place in the 70s, but the way they would show it in film, where the woman was just like caressing herself and just like combing her hair in her little vanity mirror or whatever. And then
Yeah.
the husband just walks up right behind her, or the man, and just slowly takes off her robes and starts kissing her, and she's just looking at herself in the mirror being kissed. Do you know what I mean? I feel like maybe
Yeah.
it's like a 70s porno. What do I know?
It kind of is. Yeah, it has that vibe to it. I know. And I feel like back then they just felt like they needed a little bit of this in their movie.
Yeah, and you were Lois Lane, like, girl,
I know. And it's
Well,
Lois Lane,
Lois.
not Lewis Lane.
that's me. Well,
That's
they make
the gay porn like
I know.
adaptation.
Lois Lane. Well, they make love, and one of the kids walks in on them, of course.
Yeah, which by the way, I was like, oh no, like that's bad. Like that's kind of worse than some of the things that are
That
like
actually
happening in the
happened.
house.
Yeah, no,
you
I
know?
would be fucking traumatized. Like, I would go to therapy and try to get that scrubbed from my brain. If
I
that ever
know
happened to me.
exactly. And by the way, the before that, the door opens or anything, but
Mhm.
well, it's just the scene of them together. It's kind of, dare I say, a little awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the whole thing. It's just them kind of like caressing a lot. Like that's kind of the whole bit. Like there's no actual like.
Do you
I don't know.
think that the lack of chemistry for that specific scene had to do with the real life tension between both of them?
Oh, that's a good point. It might
'Cause
be,
what
or
if-
maybe she was still in love with Christopher Reeve.
Maybe. I was gonna say more like she was like improvising. She's like, yeah, let me take off this robe and show off my tits to this guy. And this guy's like, that's not in the script. But I
And
can't.
I don't like them.
I don't like boobs. That's why I married Barbara Streisand.
Does she
No.
have bad boobs?
No, I don't know actually. Well,
I'm a nose guy.
I'm a big I'm into noses. Okay, that's why I want to go after Luis after this.
Oh.
Anyway, but outside of their room, a rocking chair is going back and forth, Tim. And then the clock turns 3, and George opens his eyes because, he's already asleep after, making love to his woman. And it turns 3, he just
Yeah.
like, bong, he just opens his eyes. Like in the true story, Tim.
I know.
Oh,
He keeps waking up in the night. No one else does that but people in haunted houses.
Oh, yeah. Well, 3 a.m. 3 a.m. is the devil's hour.
Oh, that's right.
That's when he's flicking his bean, his demon bean.
Okay, I see.
And you're like, oh, I hear some like tick, 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 tick. And it's really the devil in the corner of your room saying, keep going, boys.
Keep it going.
Well, he walks around and goes after he, gets up. It's 3 a.m. He gets up. He's like, okay, something's off here. So he walks around and goes into one of the child's rooms to see the window is left open and a little doll sitting on a rocking chair. It's Okiko. Just kidding.
No, but honestly, though,
Mm.
that little shot was creepy. I thought that was creepy when I saw it. I was like, okay, that is
Yeah.
like, for some reason, that's a weirdly scary shot. It kind of, yeah, it is kind of Okiku vibes, isn't it?
Yeah. So like, okay, for you, since every episode you like to play Scully and you're like, nope, that did not
I'm not
happen. No, I don't
playing
believe it.
anything. I feel like I need to balance your abject belief in every single thing.
I know, right? Well, if you were in that house and you were in his spot and you saw a little doll rocking back and forth, would you like pick up the doll and be like, come here, baby, you're going to be my daughter now? Or would you throw it into a dumpster and light it on fire?
Those are my two options. I caress it, I hold it and cradle it and say like, "Oh, you're my little doll daughter now."
Yeah.
Or I just throw it and light it up. I guess I'd the fire. Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
because I'd be scared. So yes.
Wow.
Well, all right. Your
George-
response is wow.
Well, I mean, like, I wanted you to like caress the doll and be like, I have a baby now, my own, because I have 3 adopted kids. But You didn't take the bait, but it's okay.
Imagine he just decides that doll is his fourth child.
Yeah, it's like, this is biologically mine. Huh? What? I fucked Annabelle and then gave birth to this.
Oh my God.
But anyway, well, George decides to smoke a cigarette in the room where his child is, by the way. Like back in the days.
It's the 70s. It's the latchkey era. Like,
Don't you
everyone's
miss
smoking
those?
in front of each other. I mean, I wasn't alive, so I don't miss it, but in my mind, I miss it. You know
Don't
what I
you
mean?
miss the good old days when you could smoke inside your child's room? Oh, and then the woke mob came after us.
God, I
Just
know.
kidding.
They ruined that for everyone.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the next day, Kathy comes home from shopping and she decides to scare her husband as he's chopping wood. Like, girl, that would be, if that were me, honestly, Tim,
Yeah.
my head would be flying so far off my body, honestly, I'd end up in the next town over. Because, like, it reminds me of, like, Friday the 13th Part 5, where, like, the slow kid, because they're in a camp for, like, mentally unstable kids, bipolar. Some of them are slow, like legit, like slow,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
other types, but they group them all together. They don't care. And one of them has anger issues. That's like,
Just slight anger.
yeah. And it's just like, why are you putting them all together? Anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is because in one scene, the slow guy comes up to the guy cutting wood. He's like, here, do you want some chocolate or whatever?
Oh my God.
And then the guy's like, leave me alone. He's like, I'm just trying to be your friend, but boo you or whatever. And then he just like turns around and walks away. And then the guy with the axe just like hits him on the head with the axe and kills him.
Right. I don't remember that scene, but I'm picturing you going up to your partner who's
Uh-huh.
chopping wood and just being like, boo, and then your head flying.
My head flying to the next town over. Jeez.
I mean, imagine he's so scared, but he gets such a clean shot and he
And
just
it'll-
cleaves it off. I mean, that's
yeah.
so
And my head
horrible.
lands next to the bunny man, the one that I killed in a previous episode. Both of our heads are next to each other. How about
Well,
that?
it's poetic in a way.
Yeah, well, Kathy decides to go into the house after trying to scare her husband. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna make rice from a can. I think. Was it rice from a can? I don't know.
think so.
But then she hears a noise, like a gust of wind, and she looks around for a little bit, but she's started by her demonic looking child, apparently. Oh no, I made that as a joke, actually. I wrote it down as a joke. It actually did not happen. He was his child, but
Sorry about that, listeners.
no, she sneaks up behind the child. I mean, the child sneaks up behind Margot's character, and when she turns, like, oh, like, why are you behind me? Like, I'm sorry, but get the hell out of here.
I know people are sneaking up on each other a lot.
Yeah, and the little girl goes, my friend Jody wants to play upstairs. I know it sounds like that.
Upstairs, she has a slight transatlantic accent.
Yeah, and first off, okay, go play. Why are you telling me? But second of all, like, who the fuck is Jody?
Yeah, I know. And by the way, I kept thinking, wow,
Who the
what a
fuck is
ripoff.
Heather? No, just kidding.
No, I kept thinking, what a ripoff of The Shining with
Mhm.
the kid that thinks that he has a friend or whatever that's
In
talking
his
to him.
mouth.
I guess, yeah. But anyway, the point is, I'm like, oh wait, this movie came out before The Shining, so
Mhm.
actually, dare I say, it did that thing first, or maybe not first, but
And what was
before
the
the
name-
big one.
What was Jack Nicholson's character called in The Shining? Jack Torrance, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because like the little kid is doing like, he puts up his little finger and does a little voice. Is like, Mrs. Torrance, do you think we can eat a grilled cheese sandwich? Or whatever the hell he says, I don't know. But anyway, did you ever have an imaginary friend?
No, I never did that. I mean, well, okay, I never knew what that meant because I knew kids that would say like, "Oh yeah, I have an imaginary friend." So I would like say that as a kid.
Mhm.
I would be like, "Oh yeah, like I don't know, sure, yeah, I have one." You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I never like I didn't believe it. You know what I mean? Although I guess it's always make believe, right? Like no one actually
Mhm.
truly believes it because then they'd be, turned into a counselor or something, right?
Yeah, maybe. I had an imaginary friend.
Oh, okay.
You're not gonna believe me.
Well, I do. I mean, what was their name?
Well, so like I was maybe like 7 or 8, and I remember I was playing with like little dollies,
I believe that.
and then I felt somebody tap my shoulder, and it was my mom, and she was saying like, "Hey, I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna go to the neighbor and ask for a cup of sugar."
Okay.
And I'm
What?
like,
You're making this up.
No, and then she went, and
You
then
went to the neighbor for a cup of sugar. Is this like
yeah,
an I Love Lucy episode?
no, and then when she came back, she tells me that she saw me floating in the air.
Oh my
Um,
gosh. I
and
see.
yeah, and I asked her like now as an adult, like, what happened? It's like, oh, you said it was your imaginary friend named Casey or something. I was like, Casey? How the hell did I get that white ass name here in Laredo? But okay.
Yes, Casey Affleck.
God. And then apparently it was another 7-year-old, but this 7-year-old was like 6 foot tall.
Okay.
And I rode his shoulders, and then we just walked around the little barrio and just like, we hung out. We were cool friends. We played with marbles. We played with like little jacks or whatever they're called, like the ball and jack thing. We broke into
Tiddlywinks.
yeah, we broke into the neighbor's house, stole some condoms, sold them to the crackheads across the street. Typical
Okay.
little kid stuff.
This is horrible and a lie. All of it's a lie. Every part of it.
Are you calling me a liar?
Yes.
Are you calling Dwayne Barry a liar? Anyway, okay. So she says, I'm gonna go play with Jody. I'm like, okay, get the fuck out of here. But then the toilet starts to bubble up with like a black tar-like substance. I don't know what that could be. But the doorbell rings again. It's your bestie, Tim, the nun, a nun.
The nun. I love this nun. It's
What
also
Yeah,
it's
go ahead.
her sister, right?
Oh, her sister's a nun? I
Yeah.
totally missed that.
Yeah, that's like the kid's aunt.
Oh, geez, I totally missed that. Maybe I've been high or something.
You just thought a nun visited them right after a priest, like just everyone in the
why would-
local
well, 'cause
Catholic church is visiting.
The priest told the nuns, like, hey, go check out that house because, like, I got swarmed with flies. You go check it out. It's your turn
No,
now.
but they talk about it. They talk about it that she's visiting and then her brother's getting married and it's a whole thing.
Yeah, I must have missed that. Oops, sorry, listeners, but the sister who's a nun is at the door. At this point, honestly, I would give up. I have annoying kids. I have a broken toilet, weird noises, drafts all over the place, various religious people coming over. I'd be
And
like,
leaving quickly.
I'm just gonna leave. One day that I've checked in, well, not checked in, but whatever. The nun walks in and starts to hallucinate or have headaches or something. I don't know what the hell she's going on. Is she also like a medium? What is she? She's just a nun.
Luis, you have to remember one thing. It's the 70s, so every religious figure in the Catholic Church had supernatural abilities.
Apparently, yeah, they were like also very like highly in touch with like their spiritual guides or whatever,
Right,
and they were like, "Oh, I
yes.
feel something." Well, she decides to leave, and she speeds away and walks away to puke her guts out. And you sent me that video on Instagram because we were both laughing at that. But
Yeah,
maybe she's
listeners, for
pregnant.
those of you, I suspect not, just given
No.
her line of work. But yeah, listeners, if you don't know, this scene is really funny because she goes into the house and then she immediately is struck by just feeling really sick and then decides she has to leave. And Margot Kidder's really upset that she has to leave. And she's like, I have to. I can't explain. That keeps happening, by the way. Just everyone keeps not explaining anything to each other, of
yeah,
course,
of course,
right?
yeah.
And then she races away in her car and then just pulls by the side of the road and pukes. But her puking noise, I guess they hadn't perfected puking as an effect because it just sounds like she's just saying, ah.
We should insert the sound right here. But yeah.
Yeah, we should. But yeah,
Well,
so funny scene.
Yeah, watch that just for that scene alone. But
Just for that scene, it's worth it.
we cut back to the house at night and we suddenly hear Margot Kidder wake up screaming, "Did you ever see two turtles fuck?"
No, she did not say that.
She was coughing and being drunk. No?
No, she did not say that.
Well, it's from Black Christmas, actually. When she's like trying to tell the father of one of the girls who died, he's like, "Have you ever seen two turtles fuck?" Well, but she wakes up and she screams, "She was shot in the head." Sorry if the mic didn't pick that up, but she says she was shot in the head, referring to the DeFeo murders. She falls back asleep. I don't know how you could do that. If I woke up from a nightmare, like a traumatizing nightmare, like she was shot in the head. She falls back asleep, and George notices it's 3 a.m. again when she does that.
3 a.m., the witching hour.
It's the witching hour, I'm telling you. Well, the next day, the two priests are driving. There's two priests, and they're driving somewhere, most likely the house, right? When they crash, and then they just crash. They're just like bad drivers because they're priests. Like they're
busy
doing other stuff. They don't have time
doing
to
God's
learn.
work. Yeah.
But they're crashing all over the place, and then as they're stuck in a ditch or whatever, one of the priests looks up and a little lonely fly is in the car windshield. It's like the fly is like, "I need to confess my sins." Anyway,
I am an Episcopalian.
later that night, Jimmy, Kathy's brother, is in correct me if I'm wrong, the party is at the Amityville house, right?
Yes, they
Okay.
decide, given all these crazy things that have been happening so far, they're going to host a party there.
Yeah. And keep in mind, they left after 28 days, right? So I'm assuming, and I don't remember because I know during the movie they list like the timestamps, like, oh, day 10, day 11, or whatever.
Yeah, they keep writing that on the screen in case it's not clear.
Yeah, I don't know when this happened, like the day, whatever, but like if I just moved to a place and it's like day 10, I'm like ready to host a party.
No, I know. Yeah, 10 days in, you're like, I think I'll host a giant wedding pre-ceremony party. Yeah.
The brother is counting money over and over to pay for the caterer, and then minutes later, the money is gone. Tim, if you were a ghost in that demonic house, what would you spend the money on? Let's say you were a demonic force in the Amityville house. And
Sure,
you're
sure.
just like kicking a can. It's like, oh, I'm bored. I'm a lonely ghost here.
Yeah.
And then you see that Jimmy guy, and he's counting money, and then he puts it in his pocket, and you took it. What would you spend the money on
Gosh, I don't know. What would I spend it on? I could invest it, of course, into a low yield mutual fund of some kind.
as a ghost?
Yeah, I think I might,
Do you
like
have a
one of those
checking
index
account or
funds.
something?
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, I would set one up.
And how would you spend it? It was like pre-internet, pre-Wi-Fi, so you couldn't go leave the house, spend it.
You're right. I couldn't. Well, then maybe I would just like flutter it all over the place in the room. You know what I
Just
mean?
lay on it and just like do like the little angel moves, and you're like,
Yeah, like a little ghost angel on the floor, and then someone would see it and be like, "What the hell? Who did this?" And the money.
Yeah, no, if I had the 1500 and I were a ghost, and it was like, I don't know, they lived on 112 Ocean Avenue, but I would just walk to like the door frame, like to go outside. Obviously, I can't go outside because I'm a ghost. And if I see like a really hot guy walking by, I'd be like, yoo-hoo, I have $1,500.
Stick your little ghost leg out with your fishnets on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you like what you see, boys? And then like 3, 4 men, like burly men in their 30s and 40s, would be like, yeah, what are you looking for? I'm like, well, I'll give you $1,500 if you.
Oh my God.
Anyway, the next scene, still at the party, we cut to a babysitter, and one of the Lutz kids, Amy, she's upstairs, excuse me, and they're talking about boys and cigarettes. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. But the babysitter decides to go into the closet to look for something or try something on. I don't even remember. But the chair starts to rock by itself, and then the door slams right behind her, trapping the babysitter in the closet. Isn't that how you were forced out of the closet,
I
Tim?
knew you were gonna make a joke.
Well, you know
of
what? I'm
some-
predictable. How about that?
Yes. How about that?
But the babysitter starts pounding the door, blood in her hands, and she's like, "Amy, open the door!" And the little girl is just like staring blankly, and
She's not even flinching. She's not even
No, she's
confused
just like-
about what Jody, her imaginary friend, is telling her. She's like, "Yep, that makes sense, Jody. I hear you."
exactly. She's just like blankly staring into something. And meanwhile, the party downstairs is like drowning out the wailing from the babysitter. If I were the babysitter, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna die here because like I feel like that was not the girl who slammed the door behind me. She's not listening to me.
I know. Yeah, I would
It's
worry that
dark.
was some scary murderer person in the house too.
Yeah. And again, the house is infamous around the neighborhood. People know what happened. So if
Oh,
I'm babysitting
yeah.
and then I
I
go
didn't
to the
even think of
closet,
that.
yeah, then the door slams right behind me. Like I'd be fucking shitting my pants. Like literally, I would be like, you know what?
I know.
Taking off my pants. I'm just gonna take a shit here and put it back up. Use the coats in the closet to clean myself up. But fuck you for trying to scare me. I'm a shit here. Let's see
What would
how you
everyone
like it.
find though? They open the door and then they see all of that. What are they gonna say?
I'd be like, it was a ghost. It was Butch. It's like Butch is still alive. He was the killer. Like, oh,
Yeah, he's
it
in
was
jail.
it was Sandy. I don't know.
Sandy. I would also take off my giant metal ring headset thing that I have for my braces, like the
Oh, yeah.
babysitter has.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'd be like, you know what? You want me to prove a point? I'm gonna fucking kill myself. And I'm gonna make you all
no.
regret it. And then I would hang myself by the braces and just be like,
What?
now you got an extra ghost in the house, bitch.
Oh no.
Well, the next day,
Well,
see
Luis's
how they like
excellent segues. Well,
well, anyway, the next day, two priests start arguing about the house. I wrote here, like, don't you miss when priests on TV sound like humans? But again, we talked about that earlier about how they would argue, smoke, drink, drive, crash their cars. You know what I mean? Like, they were just normal people that were, devoted to God. But now it's all priests who are like walking very slowly and gingerly.
I know. They were a little more like normal vibes back in the 70s, I feel like. But
Yeah.
at the same time, they also all had these amazing like spiritual powers to vanquish the forces of evil. So,
Yeah, so I would,
you know,
yeah, I would never be a priest, but if I had to be a priest, it would be during the 70s when I could do all this shit, have magic powers. Some of them
yeah,
could be
in a movie specifically.
in a
you'd be
movie, not in real
priest.
life. All right. Well,
Well,
I'm
what
t-
about the nuns? The nuns are playing basketball with the local teens in this movie, if you remember.
yeah, they're like hungover and drinking and puking on the side of the road, you know,
And then stop
something like
over for a
that.
quick basketball game.
Yeah, that would be so crazy.
It sure would.
It sure would, mama. Anyway, we then move to George, the dad. He's talking to somebody outside of his house.
Let's just call him James Brolin's character. But okay, sure,
yeah.
George.
Yeah, we're talking to Mr. Lutz.
Yes, George Lutz.
Yeah, what a yutz. He's obviously looking very haggard and pissed off. And then his friend is
He starts
telling-
looking haggard real quickly in this movie.
Yeah, yeah. And then his friend is talking to him about something. He seems annoyed. So he throws the axe near his friend's head, like he's in a competition or something.
You know, like friends do.
Honestly, in any other place, he would be an Olympic medalist or something. Like he would, if he,
Yeah.
like,
He could be the shot put guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like he's like, dude, I'm your friend. Why the hell did you just throw an axe near my head?
Yeah, no, I know. I hear you.
Well, in the meantime, these two kids, I think they're Amy's siblings, right? Because they have multiple kids. They're trying to play a trick on her, and Amy's outside in the backyard or something, playing with Jody, and then her brother is trying to dangle something from the top of the second floor. I forgot what it is, but then Jody, I'm assuming, just slams the window shut on his hand. I'm honestly good. Good,
But
Jody.
you're happy about that scene.
Well, he's trying to tease his little sister, who's already a little, nutso. 'Cause she has,
Right,
like, an
I know.
imaginary
Don't give her
friend.
more stuff to deal with in life. You're
Yeah.
saying.
So what happens next, Tim?
Well, George decides to investigate what the hell is going on by looking up demonic possession, maybe the original blueprints, things like that. And at this point, it's you write in your notes that you found him actually really hot and that his hair is from the 70s, his beard, the way he gets on his
I
bike.
found a little tingling, Tim. He looked really hot. I mean, I know he looked
He
haggard.
was. No, he was very handsome in this movie.
I mean,
I
he
will
was still
say.
really hot in general, but the way he looked in this specific movie.
Yeah, not the haggard bits, but early on when they buy the house, I know. I did think that for a minute when I watched the movie. I was like, oh, I could see why Barbara Streisand went for him.
Mhm. Well, no, but even like in this specific scene where he's getting on the bike trying to find the blueprints,
Yeah.
he had the beard, obviously he looks a little tired, but I don't know, there's something about the way he got on the bike and he was like, "Rah, rah." And I was like, oh yeah, why don't you run over my face, sir?
What a relatable feeling.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, Kathy is having a mental breakdown inside the house. Poor lady. He's trying to talk to a priest on the phone. I guess she's like, "Ugh, something's going on. But all she hears is static, and maybe the priest is having a stroke. I don't know. But she hears a sound, so she goes to investigate. But then she hears somebody knocking on the door. And it's some man saying he wanted to introduce himself as her neighbor. But then her phone rings again, and when she goes back, the neighbor is gone.
Oh.
What was that? Was that like a ghost neighbor, or was that just somebody who's like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck with her.
I think that was like a little plot hole that just died or something. I don't know. It seems like why would they have a little neighbor visit? But I mean, can I just ask something too?
Yeah.
Why so I guess we're to assume in the scene, right? When
Yeah.
she's on the phone with the priest that the ghosts in the house or the demons in the house don't want her to communicate with him, right?
I'm guessing, yeah.
So, but I'm confused. What if he just says, "Okay, just leave the house"? I mean, wouldn't that be exactly what they want?
Yeah, but like,
Because right, the whole story, presumably they want them to leave because they keep
Mhm.
saying things like "get out." So I'm thinking, yeah, they want them to leave. So what if they don't know what the priest is gonna say?
well, no, but I think they were saying that to the religious family, the religious people. They were saying that to the priest, and they were trying to like,
So they wanted the Lutzes to stay.
yeah, because they wanted to like harm them. But
Why?
Because they're demons. They have no reason.
But I thought their goal was to get them out.
They're trying to get the priest out.
So they just want the priest to leave because they don't want any exorcisms or anything. But
Yeah.
they're like, oh, but bring the people. Like,
Yeah,
let 'em
bring the
stay.
people. We want more ghosts, like the
But then why would they
Lutzes.
keep showing them gross things? Don't you think they would like let it trickle a little bit more? Like, why would they be like, oh, here's a big pig demon, like here's blood coming from the wall? You know what I mean? Like, why would they? Surely that method would keep people leaving.
Well, that hasn't
Right?
happened yet in the movie. So you're
Okay.
spoiled it for our listeners.
No, but some bad things.
No, I know
enough
what you mean,
bad things
though.
have happened. You know.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's kind of like, okay, dude, you are trying to kick us out because you're showing us, trying to traumatize us with all these different things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like the priest is trying to help us actually, or help
Yeah.
you by getting rid of the people, and you're not letting them.
I know. I guess
Wow.
they just, well, I'm assuming that the ghosts just were like, well, we don't want the priest to like cast any spells and have us like get vanquished.
And,
Which is
priests
fair.
became magicians all of a sudden. But
But can I say
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
because I feel like something interesting about this actually, which I didn't even consider, but I was reading a Reddit forum about this movie
yeah,
and people were talking about it. And one thing I heard some people say was that this movie, because it came after The Exorcist, was interesting because, see, you know how in this whole movie, what ends up happening, right, is that the priests and the nuns are all very kind of just helpless, right?
yeah. Mhm.
And they were saying on Reddit, I don't know if this is true, that the movie makers were actually trying to be like, yeah, you probably thought they were going to be a big help, right? Like,
Yeah.
like in The Exorcist, right? Like people are used to that.
The
But no.
anti-exorcist. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, nope, they can't help. This is a really haunted house. I don't know. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
what they were
because this
saying.
is like based on a true story. I mean, so is quote unquote The Exorcist, right? Because it's based on a story that happened somewhere in a different country, not the US.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I guess that makes sense. They were, say, maybe they wanted to market themselves as like anti-exorcist or whatever.
Yeah, like playing with
Um,
your expectations a little bit. We might be giving them a lot of credit, though. They might
Maybe.
have just wanted to, because honestly,
It was
when I'm
also written
watching
by
this
George
movie,
Lutz, so
yeah, exactly. When I'm watching this movie, all I'm thinking is, wow, these people are so ineffectual. Like they can't
Mhm.
like that nun couldn't stand to sit just a minute in that house and
Yeah.
like figure it out. Like she's like, no, I'm gonna hurl.
I want to puke, and I can't do this in your house.
That
like-
would be rude.
That would be totally rude. Well, after that, Tim, are you going to let us finish, or are you going to go on one of your
Sorry.
rants?
Well, I thought this was about our commentary. So
It is
forgive
actually.
me.
I'm just trying to be an asshole to you for no reason.
Well, not for no reason.
No, I'm just teasing you.
Okay.
I'm just kidding, Tim.
Okay, fine. We'll talk about this later.
Yo,
No. You're terrified at that.
Yeah. But then we cut to George at the bar, looking like he just got gangbanged by demons. And the bartender tells him,
That's,
look like
you're
shit.
editorializing a little bit.
oh, yes, of course. I'm telling you, he looked like he got fucking like by a bunch of demons because he looks like disheveled and
I know.
haggard. And
And his hair becomes progressively curlier as well throughout the
yeah,
movie.
he's getting his hair pulled from the demons. Yeah. Anyway, he kind of looks like the guy, aka Butch DeFeo, who came to the bar last year and was like, somebody killed my family. But, you know, obviously was him.
Yeah.
Kathy walks into her daughter's room and hears her praying as she walks in. And Amy tells her that she's scared that Jody, excuse me, and that she basically jumped out the window. Jody did, right? So Kathy's like, oh, well, let me see if she's fine then. Like super casual. I mean, I know it's an imaginary friend, but like to the little girl, her friend jumped out a window.
She says, oh, let me go check on
Let me go,
her.
yeah, let me go check
Let
on
me look
her.
outside and see what the damage is.
And she's like, aren't you going to take this seriously? And then when she suddenly goes there, she sees two red eyes, aka the pig from hell. I don't know if that picked it up in the mic. Wait.
It did. It did on my end both times.
Okay. Okay. I'll use both. George, I believe, is back at the bar. He's talking to two people about the house and how it was built on demonic grounds or something. I think that's what they're telling him.
Yeah.
Or he's telling them actually because he did have like the blueprints.
Yeah, they're discussing it, and the woman that's with them,
Mhm.
she is like the wife of his friend, right? Who's like his business partner, I
I
believe.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and she it turns out is like a real like fan of like scary stuff, basically. That's what it is, right?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
whole
which is
thing.
like one of the reasons why they decide to go with him to the house. She's probably like, I want to check this out. I think it'll be fun.
She's what this lady is she's our listeners. She's the same kind of a person.
That would be you and me, though.
Yeah,
Like,
you're right.
I-
We would be her, and
I
we
would-
would have the same over the top moment she's about to have in the scene.
Yeah. Well, so it turns out that the woman that you and I were just talking about is a medium, I think.
Right. She says she's a
Mhm.
medium.
Yeah, she just wants to go check out the basement too. I'm like, girl, stay the fuck outside. I'm sorry. Like, I know that I would want to see what's going on because, like, oh, apparently this house is haunted. But at the same time, I'd be curious to investigate something, but not by myself, and definitely not in the basement.
Yeah, no.
Of a
And
house.
also, right.
Yeah.
And by the way, are mediums aren't mediums a little bit witchy? In other words, wouldn't the medium be like cool with all the scary stuff and not like scared by it?
Yeah, true. But also, like a medium, you're not there to exercise anything. You're just there to communicate with them,
Right. And it
right?
seems like they're having no trouble communicating. So what are you doing there?
Yeah, exactly. Well, she goes to the basement, and of course, that's where all the shit happens. George and Kathy are inside arguing when George decides to start tearing down the wall in the basement with an axe. The medium lady, don't have her name, is doing the same thing. She's also like breaking the wall. I'm like, girl, this is not your fucking house. Like, what are you doing?
She's into it though. She's here.
She's like,
with him.
I'm gonna help you. I want to do this too.
Yeah,
And then when
I don't get out much anyway.
this is my fun, highlight of the week.
Yeah.
When George finally breaks down the wall, we see a red light, and we see George's reflection like a portal to hell.
I know. And honestly, though, that's one of the moments that I feel like gets a little bit weak because I'm like, okay, well, that looks like the most cheesy effect you could possibly come up with. Like, it literally looks
You
like they
couldn't
just
take yourself into the 70s and see it as for what it was.
I don't know. There are movies in the 70s that had okay looking effects. I feel like I
That
don't
was
know.
not one of them.
That it just looked like they they literally like projected his face into like a red paper room. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it didn't
yeah.
look like anything. But anyway, they couldn't have had a little fire. I don't know.
Well, the house would have burned down. But anyway, the medium lady is holding, she encounters something and she's holding the sides of her head and screaming like, "No!"
Yes, it's
And I think it's
another one of the more over the top moments of the movie.
Yeah, I think a priest elsewhere is doing the same thing. So maybe like the house is like everybody who's coming here who's part of like some spiritual whatever. I'm gonna attack all of you, and then Kathy's sister, the nun, is like vibrating in bed.
No,
and
no.
you're like, oh shit, is she dying? She's convulsing, but no, she's using like a dildo
Oh my
or
god.
vibrator. Well,
I think not.
I don't think that happened actually. But George and Kathy go back upstairs and see their crust upside down, and then it falls to the ground. And when Kathy goes to pick it up, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so at this point, I'm thinking now you have
Mhm.
enough evidence, you have enough info. I think
Yeah.
you move.
Yeah, and they do. Well, we'll get to it.
No, they don't.
I don't know. They still say they're another day. I don't remember. See.
Okay, well, anyway, continue.
Well, Kathy goes to pick it up, and we see her face and hand. She starts to age and melt or something. Not melt, but you know what I mean. She starts getting the pus.
Yes.
look.
No. I mean, her face does start to look really wrinkled, and it's all of a sudden, yeah.
Yeah. Well, elsewhere, a priest is trying to bless the house from afar or something. He's like praying and doing something.
Well, no,
And-
he's in the church, and
Yes.
there's this whole subplot with him and the other priests where they don't believe him, right? He
Mhm.
keeps saying that this house is haunted and there's people living there, and we got to get them out. And none of the priests believe him, really. They're all like, oh, this is ridiculous. And something that I noted in my notes
Mhm.
is that the main priest, I don't know, what the ranking is
Priest
of all
number
of them.
one.
Right, yeah, of their local little parish or whatever, is the mayor from Jaws. It's the same actor.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, wait, that's so, because in this movie he's all
Yeah, it takes place in
skeptical.
Amityville.
Well, yeah, Amity, right? Amity,
Amity,
the island,
yeah.
and then Amityville in this. But not only that,
Mhm.
is that he's skeptical again. He's like the skeptical head of an organization, and he's just like, "Come on, you're crazy. What? Wait, this is our biggest year." You know what I mean? Like,
There's no such thing as possessed shark priests.
I guess after
What?
Jaws, he could only get skeptical roles.
Yeah, well, that's your role here on the podcast, apparently. But
Oh, I guess so. Well, nothing bad happens to him, so I'm fine with that.
oh yeah, it's true. Well, back at the house, Kathy wakes up from her trauma from melting.
Oh, wait.
And-
I have to cut you off, Luis. We didn't actually explain the scene that happens with the
Oh.
priest where it all breaks down.
As you mentioned, like this priest is not being believed. I think you said, right?
Right. He's not being believed,
Mhm.
but he's still doing his thing. And then at one point, he's in his church doing some kind of a prayer in front of all of the statues in the main sort of room, in front of all the pew.
Yeah.
And then, the statues start to break apart.
Yeah, it's like the Virgin Mary or something. I don't know what kind of statue it was. Maybe it was statue of Jesus or something, but it just breaks apart and hurts him, I think. I don't remember.
Well, no, this is the weird thing. In the
Mhm.
scene, when it actually happens, there's another, priest who's like his second in command. I don't know. And he sees the priest getting freaked out, right?
Mhm.
He's thinking, oh my gosh, what's happening to him? He's like wailing. And the priest is seeing the statues break apart, but the guy is looking at it and he doesn't see anything happening. So it's not that it's actually coming apart from what I can understand from the scene. Then the priest just goes blind.
I'm glad he went blind.
Yeah, good. That's good.
He deserves it.
I know, for being that much of a bother to the main priest.
Well, what happens after that?
So back at the house, Kathy wakes up from her trauma, I guess, and walks into her daughter's room to find her dead, she thinks, and George splits her head open with an axe, but then it's just a nightmare.
Yeah, that was really, really freaky because I didn't think it was a nightmare. I was like, wait, did they take liberties with the story? And because, like, you know,
It took a few.
Yeah, one of the writers is George Lutz. Was he okay with them writing a story about how a part in the movie where he like kills his wife? And his wife is right next to him. It's like, that didn't happen. I'm still here. It's like, yeah, shut up. We're going to kill you in the movie.
So she's like, hey, I'm writing this too. This didn't happen.
But it turns out it is a nightmare. You're right. But yeah, George is going crazy in the other room the next morning. And Kathy tells him that they need to leave or something and calls him a bastard. And then he slaps her. Honestly, this is where I become J-Lo in Enough. And I say, self-defense is not murder. She never says it like that.
Oh, you wanted Kathy to murder him at that point?
Yes. I mean, once you slap me, nope, you're going downtown, sir. And I don't mean that in a sexual way.
You're going downtown?
I don't mean that in a sexual way or to prison. You're going downtown to the, to the basement.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is a really sad and kind of shocking scene, although it's funny because it comes just after the big axing scenes. You wouldn't think it'd be that shocking. But
well, how did you feel when that happened? Like when George slapped Kathy?
I felt bad. I was like, oh my God, what is happening? He must be like possessed or something, I thought. But I mean, yeah, that is the scene where she says, like, let's just move out, and then he just slaps her. So I guess he is kind of possessed a little bit, right? Because he's like, no.
How do you think Kathy felt when she read the script?
She's like, wow, you kept that part in. You didn't say how many times you did it, though.
Yeah. Did you forget to mention when you actually punched me in the gut? Oh, no, I can't, I can't include that.
I can't include that. That would make me look bad.
Yeah, a slap is fine. Also, like, an axe to your head is fine because it's a dream.
She's like, I guess.
Fuck?
She's like, can we cut out the part where I explode through dynamite?
Exactly. Well, I guess they settle things, right? Because the next morning, the priests, I don't know how many are there now?
There's a bunch, but there's basically the main guy who's upset and he's her old family friend. He's the one from the beginning of the movie. And then there's like the second priest guy who's like the one who didn't go blind, who's just watching him and worried about him.
Yeah. Okay, well, they are talking about the house or something, and Kathy decides to do her own research with a welt on her face. And she
goes to look at some microfilm.
Yeah, she goes to the library. Yeah, those little microfilms. I didn't write what it was called, but yeah.
I love an old movie where they look at microfilm. For me, that's like
that gives it more of a
scenes.
Yeah, especially when you're watching like a X-Files type, Silence of the Lambs, like a suspense.
I was just thinking that it's very Clarice Starling. It is very Scully too. Yeah. You would look at old microfilm of newspapers and then enhance it on a giant projector, and they still have that at colleges.
Yeah, I want to have like the fantasy of me wearing like those big
giant glasses,
metal glasses, and then having a pen in my mouth. And then
your hair is a little messy, and
my hair's looking a little bud.
About to close, but they're letting you stay in for a bit.
And the security guard just comes up to me. It's like, are you almost done? It's like, just give me 10 minutes, 10 minutes.
Just 10 minutes, 10 minutes, Larry. And you know him.
And he goes, okay, well, Clarice or
Clarice,
Louise.
Okay. Louise, just your normal name.
No, Louise, like Lois.
Oh, okay.
Like a Southern woman, Louise.
Yeah, Louise.
They'll be like, Louise, here are the keys. Lock up when you leave. I'm
Please.
like, okay, sure. And then I get up to make myself some more coffee. And I'm just like walking back to the, the little newspaper thingy. And I'm like twirling my little coffee. Not twirling, stirring.
You're twirling your coffee.
I'm stirring my coffee and I sit back down and for no reason, I put the pen back in my mouth. And then suddenly
you're nervous. You're chewing on a pen.
Because I'm nervous, yes. And then I end up in the article about the thing that I'm looking for. And I drop my coffee to the ground and I'm like, Eureka, we found it. That's my fantasy.
To end the scene with Eureka, we found it.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Yeah, I have that fantasy for you too. I'm picturing it now.
Yeah. Well, then she finally runs into the article for the DeFeos, the Butch. And not sure if they kept a name for the movie. Like, I don't know what they called
I don't
him
think they
in.
did. You
No.
keep saying Butch, and I hope our listeners listened to our last episode about the true story of this. But
Yeah.
his name was Butch in real life, the killer.
Oh, that was like what they called him at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
AKA the killer.
The killer in Wendy Williams' voice.
Exactly. They show the article and she looks at the pictures and whatever, and he apparently looks very close to her husband, George.
I mean, and if we're being honest, it is like a picture of James Brolin.
Like, yeah, exactly. It's not like somebody who looks like James Brolin. It literally was James Brolin, like wearing some other outfit. But then we cut to the middle of the night. We're almost done. And the dog is barking outside. Or no, the dog is in the basement. And
where is he?
Yeah, like get him out. Like, poor dog. It's pouring rain outside, aka the firefighters are, throwing the rain there. And Kathy is driving back to the house in the middle of a thunderstorm. Once inside the house, she sees the bed is shaking by itself, of course, and she sees her husband outside with an axe walking towards the house. At that point, I'm like, okay, Butch killed his family with an axe. My husband
Well, no, he didn't. He did it with a shotgun, no?
Oh, yeah, that's true. I'm making shit up now.
So the axe is just a little scary extra thing.
Okay, sorry. Butch killed his family with a gun. You're right. Her husband is acting fucked up, like
holding an axe.
Her husband's friend told Kathy, he's like, hey, your husband threw an axe near my head, let's just say, right? And then he slapped you and he's acting weird. At that point, if I see him walking towards the house in the middle of the rain, I'd be like, fuck this. I'm taking my kids with me and just getting in the little truck and vroom, taking off by myself and leaving him there by himself. Let him figure it out.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I would do. But
okay,
from his point of view, he looks up the window from outside and he sees this weird looking alien pig hybrid with red eyes.
Again, back at it. I hate to say it, but honestly, one of the worst effects too. It literally looks like they like took a pig projection and like then added to like afterward just two little red, period marks like where his eyes are.
You don't think it looked like an alien?
No,
like a gay alien.
It didn't look like a gay alien, but what would a gay alien sound like, Louise? Hypothetically,
in this moment, the gay alien would be like, "Get me, bitch!
Come get me! I'm upstairs.
I'm upstairs. Come finger me with the axe, bitch." No.
Yes, he would. No, okay. I agree with you.
And as he goes inside, the walls start to bleed. That's telepathic powers from the alien. He did that.
I know.
There's no alien in the movie, by the way. We just say the demon, the pig man, looks like an alien. Just in case
Louise
you're like,
is just saying that.
Yeah, I'm saying it. So you're not scrolling through the movie. Like, where did they see an alien?
Where's the alien?
You say he fingered himself?
We're leading I'm not seeing this scene anywhere. Did I miss that part?
Suck this taint, Tim.
Oh my god.
Well, he attacks Kathy thinking that it's the demon. And obviously it doesn't help that from his point of view.
James Brolin's character attacks Kathy?
That's what I said.
No, you just said he, and we just finished talking about the alien. So people might be a little confused.
People were like, wait, the alien attacked Kathy? The husband, James Brolin, aka George Lutz, attacks Kathy thinking that she's the demon. And it doesn't help that from his point of view. Obviously, she just looks as haggard as he does. Even though she's not really going through the same physical changes that he is. He's just seeing this. So
what I think is funny, though, is all she does is look old. And he's like, die, demon. It just still looks like her. It's like, it doesn't look like a pig.
It doesn't look like she has like red eyes right there. It's like, oh no. We skipped the twilight of your beautiful years. Fuck this. I'm killing you.
You're done.
You're done. So he swings the axe at her, but he misses, obviously, because he's a dumbass. Which is good that he's a dumbass because I don't want her to get killed.
Well, he's a little haggard too at this point. I feel like he's not thinking straight.
Yeah, he gets his axe stuck on the ground, and that's when he, I guess, snaps back into reality. The ground from the basement is trembling. There's thunder outside.
Yeah, and also I want to add that she says, don't hurt my babies. And then he holds her and hugs her after he's, coming back into his normal brain. And then he says, I would never hurt you. And I'm like, you should clarify that you wouldn't hurt any of them, just so she like feels better, I feel like.
He's like, well, what about my babies? It's like, well, they can die, but I have my own. I have my own baby now. And he whips out the little dolly, Okiko.
Oh my god.
This is my daughter now, mama.
This is mama.
Well, the basement is trembling. There's thunder outside. The floors and walls are bleeding. And that's when they finally decide, okay, maybe we've had enough. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, I'd say we should leave now.
Yeah. And then once they finally decide, let's get in the van and start driving away in the thunder. But then George decides, oh shit, let me go back and get the dog.
And that's, by the way, that's so
annoying. Trope.
I mean, it's a trope, but it's also okay. Well, you tell me if you disagree with me on this. I don't know. I feel like the dog isn't gonna get hurt by the ghosts, right? I mean, I feel like the dog will be okay as long as the door's open and he can leave. So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like he wrecked it could have been perfect. They could have just left and it would have been fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Because then when he does go back, you're right. He does fall into like this pool of blood or something, and the dog
he falls through. No, first of all, he goes into the house, can't find the dog. The dog's name is Harry because he says it like 18 times at this scene.
Yeah.
And he goes and he's like, oh, I guess I'll go to the basement. And I'm like, okay, George, weren't you around when the whole wall that opened up with the giant red, projection of you appeared? Like, that's kind of where all the bad stuff is. I don't know. I guess George is just really brave. I don't know. But anyway, he goes, he walks down the stairs into the basement and falls through the stairs into, just a giant. It's supposed to be blood, but to me, it looks like a big vat of chocolate pudding. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just like blood that's curled, not curled. What was that word?
Congealed. I don't know.
Yeah, something, and it just makes it darker. I don't know. Sorry to our listeners who are in the medical field and are like, that's not the way it works.
Yes, we work in morgues. We know it's not.
We drank the blood and we drink it.
But I was going to add, anyway.
That joke late.
Yeah, but I was gonna say in that scene though, he's in the blood, and then somehow he his face emerges, and then Harry the dog bites him because he thinks he's like a demon, and he's like, "No, it's me, Harry, no!" And then all of a sudden, Harry continues to bite him, and then he says, "Pull me out!" And then I guess the dog somehow summons the strength to pull out this
man who's like
200-pound 6'4" man. Yeah.
And he's also like carrying an axe. Wait, let me get the axe again.
I need this still. Yeah. So
the dog's like, Ruff, leave it back there, bitch.
Ruff, I gotcha.
Well, the dog being the hero that he is, you're right. He does pull George out of the pool of blood. And then finally end up in the van and drive away. Also, one last thing before we finish this. Listeners, Tim hates dogs apparently because he wouldn't go back to save a dog.
I would. I asked you to tell me if I was wrong, and you
it is wrong.
Sidestepped it, and then now are coming for me. Listen, I don't hate the dog. I feel like the dog isn't going to get haunted. The dog's not going to know what's even happening in the house. You know what I mean?
But he'll still be hurt. The demons will kill anything. They don't. It was like, oh, you're a dog. Let me leave you alone. No.
Well, okay. As I think about it, I guess you're right.
They're going to convert it into one of those Ghostbuster dog thingies with the horns. Zoran or Zulu or you, the gatekeeper.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, okay. I would go get the dog. I guess yes. If the dog was in my family and obviously it was my pet and I cared about it, I would. But it just, I don't know. It bothers me in that scene.
Yeah. Finally, they drive away, Tim, and the end caption says that they never went back to get their stuff and now live in a different state.
What a great caption! Like as if we needed that caption.
Yes, we needed to, because we need to find out, like, when a movie ends and then it just fades to black and then they show pictures like in the League of Their Own or whatever. And they're
George
like,
Lutz ended up divorcing Kathy and moving to Pittsburgh.
Exactly. And Butch DeFeo was sentenced to prison for all his lies and killings, and he died in 2020. Anyway, wait, why would they put that? That's like way in the future.
Yeah,
they knew what was going to happen.
Kathy decided she would start a bakery.
And then you just hear in the background, this used to be our playground. So, Tim, we just finished doing a horror movie recap of the Amityville Horror House. Is it just the Amityville Horror or is it the Amityville Horror House? I don't even remember.
The movie is the Amityville Horror.
Okay.
So it's not the Amityville Horror House.
Yikes. Okay. Well,
yikes.
What was your overall thoughts of the film?
Well, I have to say, it was legitimately scary. And I cannot deny it that. Like, I was creeped out by a lot of scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that right off the bat. I think that they had some really good suspense and they built up a lot of creepy things. And I will say it's one of the scarier haunted house movies that I have seen. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's on the pro side. Anti side is that I feel like a lot of the scary things, quote unquote, that happen to them, if you look at them objectively, because obviously, right, we're seeing their nightmares, right? We're like, God, that's horrible. But realistically speaking, what is happening? Money is getting hidden. right?
Yeah.
Someone comes in and flies land on them. There's some leaking from the walls, and periodically people have nightmares. Someone gets locked in a closet. Not a good thing to happen, but also not like a horrible, horrible, terrible thing. Like just an unfortunate little event. And I'm just thinking to myself, these ghosts are pretty ineffectual, honestly.
Tim, this is not a documentary.
Okay,
First of all,
whatever, fine.
You're supposed to go in this with like an open mind. We're not talking about the part one where last week where we discussed, you know, the real things where you could push back on certain things. You wouldn't be scared. Okay, the money thing, everything you just mentioned, fine, I get it. But you wouldn't be scared of the demon oinking man. You wouldn't be scared of like blood oozing from your house, your partner turning into a haggard little thing, you going crazy and throwing axes all over the house. You know,
I think I would try to leave. That is my point. And I know people always do that when they see horror movies. They think, oh, I would just be out of there. And I know,
but then
honestly,
it wouldn't be a movie.
I know, then it wouldn't be a movie, right? But honestly, it's like it borders on ridiculous. And by the way, I think a way that they could have fixed that is if they just didn't say the amount of days that they were staying there. Like every, few scenes in the movie, they're like day 3, day 8, day 20. And I'm just thinking, don't show me that. Just show
me the
a
story.
new scene happening. Yeah, where there's a story, and I will presume that it's a new day, but I won't really need to know, because honestly, it starts to become more and more unbelievable that they'd be staying there when it becomes like day 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was like, wait, you're still here?
Yeah. Like not once did they ever, think maybe we just stay at a hotel tonight.
Yeah. It's also like, I get what you're saying. Like, you don't need to list the days here, because it kind of makes it even harder for me to support you or feel like it's any type of a sympathy for you, because you're like, dude, you're like being an idiot. You're ignoring everything that's going on. You could have just showed it at the end and said like, the Lutz family only lasted 28 days.
Exactly. And then we'd be like,
later, there was an outbreak and there was a zombie virus, and the movie that 28 days later came out. Anyway.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I like the movie. I do agree that it has its flaws for sure. It is not up to par with like The Exorcist. There's one called the Changeling. I can't pronounce it. It's a really good,
even The Omen. I feel like it doesn't. It's
like The Omen is also really good, and even like more modern horror films like The Others. Whatever. Like there's so many good ones, and this is good. Don't get me wrong. Like I enjoyed it, but I do agree that there are a couple of like things that fell short for me, and a lot of it has to do more with what you just said at the end, where it's like, dude, you're still here. Like leave.
Wait, but do you honestly think that all the things that happen to them realistically, like if you actually look at them without music, right?
Yes.
Without the music and the mood, right? And the fact, and remember, you're not seeing the priest go through all of his stuff, right? You don't even know that that's happening, right? You're just them. You're the Lutzes.
Who am I in the Lutz family here?
All right, let's say you're
am I George?
Yeah, you're George.
Okay.
Okay. And you're going through that. I feel like, what are you actually experiencing? You're sweaty, you feel sick, there's flies. You know what I mean? Like what part of that is the scariest thing for you? And I'm talking
waking up
before the pool of blood at the end.
Okay.
Before that.
Okay, fine. I'm waking up at 3 a.m. every day, and there's always something off. Something creepy.
Doesn't that happen to normal people? Don't some people wake up and feel creeped out?
Well, yes, because there's a ghost in your house and you're ignoring it.
Or people just have like a sleep apnea. Anyway, whatever.
And then another one is like, if I saw a demon looking thing in my house, I'd be like, no, you're getting the axe through the fucking snout. How about that?
Through the snout. When did he see that though?
And when Kathy was, when she went back after doing the newspaper thingy and she found out like the real history of the house, and she was towards the very end, and she is just before the pool of blood, and she's like trying to gather her children or something. She looks outside and she sees her husband with an axe walking in. From his point of view, he's not seeing his wife. He's seeing like a demonic gay alien looking thing. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think it was a gay alien.
No, obviously, but you know what I mean. I'm just trying to pinpoint exactly from
all
the
he sees
story.
Is a blue glowy pig in the window, and then when he goes upstairs, he sees his wife, but she looks older.
Yeah, but wouldn't you be freaked out?
Yes, I'd be freaked out, but I don't know.
Debating the? I'm just kidding. Well, Tim, the movie is a classic according to EW, Entertainment Weekly.
Oh,
they ranked it as the #1 horror film that has the word Amityville in the title.
Exactly. I would agree with that ranking, that specific ranking.
Yeah. in this last part, I wanted to do something a little different and play a little game.
Oh.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm probably wrong now, but
You are.
can you guess how many Amityville Horror sequels, prequels, TV movies, directed DVDs, squeakles? How many are there in total?
Okay, off my top of my head, I don't know, let's say 9.
How many?
9.
No. There are over 70.
What?
Yeah. So what we're gonna do here is I have 9 films here, and I'm giving you the title, and you just tell me what the synopsis is for the film. What do you think it is? And don't highlight it because I have it written here.
What I think it would be.
Yeah, don't highlight the screen to see what it is.
Okay, I won't.
Yeah. Amityville Clown House.
All right. I'm assuming that the Lutzes decide they're going to leave their house. It's right after that movie. And they decide they're going to go to a circus to kind of get their minds off things. And then the demons end up following them there and inhabiting all of the clowns. Yeah. Am I close?
Well, let's see. It says here, no, you're wrong.
Oh. Okay.
Several years after an unfortunate accident, a couple determined to move on with their lives finds that the increase of hostility on his end comes from an evil entity housed inside a cursed antique.
On whose end? Who's having
the
extra
couple,
hostility?
the man
in the couple.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you need their name and gender and
I need their zip code and yeah.
Well, anyway, apparently he's seen increased hostility on his end, right? And it comes from an evil entity housed inside a cursed antique toy monkey that was initially bought at the original Amityville house and must find a way to break his influence over him.
Oh no.
Why is it called Clown House?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the toy monkey could be like, I don't know what does that how does that relate to the
That's why nobody saw it.
You don't know that.
Yeah, how about Amityville Vibrator?
I don't see that on the list.
It is. It's right here.
Oh, that is on the list. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let me guess. They're the DeFeo family.
Remember. Yes.
Yeah, the DeFeo family probably had a little bit of a little mechanical device that helped Mrs. DeFeo when she wasn't getting enough attention, and maybe the Lutzes inherited that, and then we find out later that whoever moves into the house also inherits that and finds that it actually yields
magical
bad results.
Demonic powers.
What is it?
According to this one, it says Kathy moves into a new home and soon comes into contact with a vibrator with ancient evil powers. 2 researchers must locate this possessed item before Kathy and anyone else she encounters becomes a sex slave for Satan.
Okay, so is this now? Did this movie, was this a parody?
It has to be. There's no way this is like an actual sequel to
like
film.
That's, I don't know if that counts as a sequel, but okay, sure.
Okay. How about Amityville Karen?
Okay. There's a local shop in Amityville down the street from the Amityville Horror House, and someone works at that restaurant, and they encounter a lot of the spooky things, and they're just minding their business one day, and a lady bursts in, and she says that they didn't make her food correctly, and she has to speak to their manager. And she's got a kind of a bobbed haircut like Victoria Beckham in the early 2000s. And they find out that this woman has moved into the Lutz house.
Ooh. She's being possessed by a demonic Karen.
Yeah. It's she's the Karen and she's being possessed. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it says here, when stealing a cursed bottle of wine from a struggling local brewery,
she steals a bottle.
Apparently, Karen soon finds that the price to pay is far more dangerous than the average hangover. Everyone in her path becomes prey, and not even a manager can be called in to stop her. So stupid.
Wait, I don't get it. Is she a shoplifter or a Karen?
I think she's a shoplifter, but
two different things.
Yeah, it comes with a price, in the sense of like, she is being possessed, so nobody can stop her, not even a manager.
Why would she call in a manager if she is the one who stole the wine?
No, it's not saying she calls in the manager. It says everyone in her path becomes prey, and not even a manager can called in to stop her.
So
like
her name is Karen, but other than that, she doesn't act like the typical Karen.
Yeah, apparently. Okay. How about Amityville Bigfoot?
Okay. Let's say someone is in the woods and they now live in the Amityville house, and they are looking through the forest. I don't know. They look through the forest and they find Bigfoot.
That's it.
That's my guess.
How is it tied to okay? Well, this one says, working on a new movie, a film crew working on a low-budget monster movie in the woods surrounding Amityville finds the shoot compromised by a series of problems ranging from protesters to nature watchers to an out-of-control Bigfoot that escaped from a team of scientists in the area. So it just takes place at Amityville, but not the house.
Okay.
Oh, stupid. Last one. There's another one here. I'm just going to read it. Amityville in space. This one says, the ultimate battle against the Amityville curse begins after the infamous murder house is exorcised from Earth and reappears in outer space.
Wow.
Yeah. And the last one here that I'll read is Amityville Outhouse.
Our listeners are like, oh, please keep reading them.
Please, we need more. In the middle of the Canadian wilderness, a lone hiker stumbles upon an old, foul-smelling outhouse that local legend says is haunted by something evil and flatulent.
Oh.
As the grizzled hermit warns him of the outhouse's cursed past, he launches into 3 bizarre, gore-filled tales featuring killer pandas, demonic poop, and bathroom-based hauntings. I think
demonic
this is like
poop.
I think it's an anthology. That's why.
Oh yeah, definitely an anthology.
Well, Tim, if you had unlimited funds and you had the chance to write an Amityville horror in this vein, like absurd, what would you call it, and what would the plot be?
I think.
And would you cast me?
I would cast you. You'd be the lead star. Yes. So don't worry about that. Yes. I can hear you pumping your fist in the air. But I would cast you, and I would have it be the Amityville. I would be called like Amityville 12, and then I would call it The Revenge of Jaws, and then I would have it set in Amity, the island, and then I would have that house, the Amityville Horror House, moved to Amity, the island, because they're like, oh, just take it out of here, get it to like a beachy place where it couldn't haunt anyone.
Yeah.
And then the Amityville ghosts would encounter the shark from Jaws, and there would be a battle at the end.
Ooh, so Jaws would like be fighting with like the demonic, the pig man. Slash. Oh, okay. And what would my role be? What would I do?
You'd be the mayor, and you'd have a spiffy little blazer with a bunch of anchors on it, and you'd be like, and the people that live there, that live in the new Amity house, would tell you, oh, please, there's this battle. They're gearing up for a huge battle.
They're like, we can't close for the 4th of July. I'm smoking a cigar.
It's our biggest day of the year.
Exactly. And then I would put out the cigarette on the old lady, trying to be like, my child just got eaten by a demonic pig and a shark.
You'd be like, please.
I'm like, oh, please, like, show me the body, and then just put the cigarette out on her forehead.
Uncaring mayor you could possibly be.
I would call mine Contact with Amityville. Oh. And it would be you and me. We would be the stars of the film.
Oh, nice.
We're like 2 friends. So yeah, we're 2 friends that go, and we decide to break into the Amityville house because apparently it's abandoned.
Okay.
And then
so it's like way after, yeah.
Yeah. And then it's at night, and we're both in the living room just like smoking weed and dope.
Oh, that's all we do.
And eating Doritos and Tic Tacs.
Yeah, Doritos and Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
We still care about our breath.
Exactly. And then suddenly the house starts to shake, like vibrate, and we're like, oh no, what's going on? And we see like blood coming out of the walls and like oink, 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 all these type of sounds. And then suddenly outside we just see a huge white light like over the house. Oh. And then we both go outside and we're like, what the hell? And then we see a pig man running towards us, so we get back inside the house and we lock it. But then we feel the house get picked up, and it goes up into space, and then it goes inside a spaceship, and then we both wake up, and then an alien is there.
Are we on an operating table?
Yes, we're at an operating table separately, of course. And then the gay alien has putting on 2 gloves, and he's like, "It's time to find out what you had for dinner." And then after he finishes, like, plop, he takes out his fingers. He's like, "I like Cool Ranch Doritos for next time." Like, oh. And that would be the whole movie.
Wow, what a movie. So like half the movie would just be his operation that he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm sure people would tune in for that. I mean,
Oh
come
yeah,
on.
I'd say so. I'd say so.
Yeah.
Well, we've come to the end of the episode, Timmy.
What is this voice?
I have no idea. If you enjoyed today's episode, then feel free to leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. If you'd like for us to cover a specific story or topic, then email us at ittybittyhorror@gmail.com. I apologize. You can also follow us on all social media under Itty Bitty Horror.
Ooh.
Tim, what are we discussing next week?
Nothing. We're going to be taking a short break to enjoy the summer, but we will be back on August 7th with brand new episodes.
Ooh. I did put up a couple of polls out there, and most people said, I put out 2 polls. One was like 4 different topics, and the other one was like 4 different movies that starred J-Lo that were potentially, they fall into the horror category. Do you remember? Do you know who won or no?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it The Cell?
The Cell won for a horror movie. And
is that a horror movie?
Yeah, well, it's like it falls into like sci-fi,
horror,
psychological.
sci-fi.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing like with Silence of the Lambs, where it's like it's considered horror for some people, but other people are like, oh no, it's not horror, and it's like, yes, it is, because like there's a killer, and yes, it's suspense and psychological, blah blah blah. But that's where The Cell falls under.
Okay.
And the other one, we had 4 different topics, and they chose airplane horror stories, and I don't think that'll help us, you or me, with our fear of airplane ones.
Oh no, it will not. I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, I know, but I think it'll be fine. And
okay,
that'll come out on August 7th, the first one. We don't know which one yet, but just keep an eye out on our social media pages.
Yes, August 7th, everyone.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks once again, and remember, even the smallest chills can linger long after the stories end. Tim, our itty bitty listeners are really important to me, but can they stop harassing me on Instagram and saying that my voice is bad?
Your voice is great. Everyone knows it.
Oh.